Masters of the Universe is the brand new movie that just hit theaters from Amazon MGM Studios. The film is directed by Travis Knight, who has directed 2016's Kubo and the Two Strings and 2018's Bumblebee. This movie stars Nicholas Galitzine as Adam, someone who is the prince of Eternia, but after in the beginning of the movie, Skeletor takes over Eternia and runs it. He is forced to go to Earth with a particular sword in order to protect it from Skeletor. But 15 years later, he is brought back to Eternia by his childhood friend Tila, played by Camila Mendes, her father Duncan, played by Idris Elba, who is the security for the royalty in Eternia, as they try to take back Eternia from Skeletor, who in this movie is voiced by Jared Leto. The film is 2 hours and 20 minutes and is PG-13. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max. Today we're talking Masters of the Universe 2026. And to be straight with you guys, this is not a franchise that I have, I don't have fondness or nostalgia for it. Obviously, this is a pretty old IP, and I did not grow up playing with Master of the Universe toys or watching the animated show or watching the Dolph Lundgren movie. My parents never, this is not one of their franchises as well. So for me, my introduction was I've seen the Dolph Lundgren movie, but outside of that, this is not a franchise that I'm familiar with. So that's my perspective on walking into this era of Masters of the Universe. I was not excited for the movie, did not like the trailers, and I will say I do think that it is an absolute miracle that this movie is not a disaster. I think the biggest plus with this film is Travis Knight, the filmmaker. He's made two really excellent movies before this, and you can really feel, even though I don't understand the lore, the characters going in, you can really feel on screen the passion that there is for this project from in front of the screen and behind the scenes. Really from Travis Knight. This is a really colorful, whimsical adventure that really is nonstop for the most part. A fun ride from start to finish. You can tell how passionate Knight is for the project. Also, just the look of Eternia is just gorgeous in the movie. You understand the brilliance and the royalty that is that planet, as well as when it gets dark, when Skeletor takes over that world. Travis Knight really did a good job, at least from my perspective, introducing me really to this franchise from a visual perspective. The action scenes are also quite good in this movie. There's a lot of ship aerial action that happens, which I really enjoyed. The hand-to-hand combat, especially the stuff between Skeletor and He-Man towards the third act of the movie, was also tons of fun. They also did a really good job with creature design and the CGI for Skeletor. I thought all of the design and the creatures, nothing really felt that cheap in this movie. Now, it is a $200 million budget, but it looks it. It looks like a very expensive movie. There's not a lot of cheap elements to the film. As I said, they pulled off a lot of great creature designs, Skeletor. The cast, for the most part, is a strength for this movie. I am not a Jared Leto person at all, but him as Skeletor is easily the best part of this movie. Skeletor does crack jokes. I think actually Skeletor has some of the funniest jokes in the movie, which could be a positive and a negative for people. But I thought Skeletor looked cool, sounded cool. His action scenes were the best part of the movie. Every time Skeletor was on screen, this movie really hummed, in my opinion. So credit to Jared Leto voicing him, because the voice is also really profound. And again, I wouldn't be lying to you. I'm not a Jared Leto person, but he's quite good. Nicholas Galitzine, I think, is solid as Adam and He-Man. This movie is also really tackling toxic masculinity, what it means to be a man in today's society, because Adam is not the manliest of men. He struggles training as a kid. When he goes to Earth, he's not this macho guy. And the movie tackles that. I think Galitzine did a really good job pulling that off. Idris Elba is always good in these movies. Camille Mendes, I also thought was quite solid here. Like to see her in more stuff. She was solid here. The score, as well, from Daniel Pemberton was very solid. It usually is just a turn off your brain blast of a movie. Now, this movie definitely has its shares of flaws. The biggest flaw for me is the comedy. Comedy is definitely very subjective, but this movie, very similar to like Guardians Volume 2 and Thor Love and Thunder, where every like 2 minutes, it feels like someone has to deliver a joke. And it's a bit much because I think that this movie goes for joke after joke after joke to a point where there are points in this movie where I was like, all right, I'm finally getting emotionally invested in a particular scene. And then what kills the emotional scene is someone has to run in and tell a joke. There was just way too much comedy in this movie. I'm all for comedy and adventure, like a Thor Ragnarok, like a Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 3. But when this movie sometimes tries to take itself seriously, or maybe you start caring a lot about a particular scene going on, it feels like the balloon gets popped because a character needs to say a joke. And I was in a pretty sold out theater for this movie for the advanced showing of the film, and my theater was not really laughing that much throughout the film. So at least in my theater, the comedy did not play. I didn't really find much of the comedy at all funny. Also, this movie takes place. Some of it is on Earth before Adam has to go back to Eternia, and the stuff on Earth is bad. Couldn't really wanted to get to Eternia so fast because when we were on Earth, the movie is boring, not funny, not fun either. It's just not an enjoyable ride. Once it's on Eternia, the movie can be fun, but when we're on Earth, it really halts this movie's momentum that the first act did a good job setting up. So I don't really care about the characters that much. A lot of the side characters feel kind of wasted, especially Tila. She has nothing to do in the third act of this movie. But again, this is a Masters of the Universe movie. I think this is as good as you can make a Masters of the Universe movie. But for me, this could have been a lot better if they either had better comedy or at least had less comedy in it. But overall, I think if Masters of the Universe fans are going to be pretty satisfied, I'm not sure if new viewers are going to think this is the next big franchise from Hollywood. So overall, I'm giving Masters of the Universe 2026 a 3 out of 5 stars, guys. I am going 56% for Masters of the Universe. What are your guys' thoughts on this movie? Let me know down in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys in another video very soon.